Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of VIVE Influencers. Today, we have a very special guest, Gabby. How are you doing, Gabby?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are you?
Quite good, especially now that I'm talking to you, it's even better.
Awesome.
Great, so why don't you tell us about yourself and your channel?
Well, my channel is it's a gaming channel that is centered around VR and other PC variety games. I started out as VR only and have recently branched out to do other games on my channel for the meantime. But yeah, I started off in the VR space and it's been a really fun journey so far.
Great. And why don't you walk us through a little bit of a background of your life journey and the choices that led you up to this point? How did you get into YouTubing in general? How did you get into VR?
So it's actually a very interesting journey. A lot of people don't know that I have my master's degree. I went to school for music, actually, music performance, and, got really high grades. Like everything was going really well for me. And halfway through my master's degree, I don't know what happened, but there was just this switch that flipped that was like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So during that time, I met my fiance, Eddie, and he has a VR channel as well. I'm sure most of you are probably more familiar with Eddie VR than you are with my channel, but he started his YouTube journey back in 2016 when we were living in our apartment. And through watching him, during all of those years, and then more recently when he created a VR only channel, um, I saw an opportunity there to make content as well because there weren't very many creators yet in the VR space. And it just seemed like something that was fun to do at the time that might turn into maybe a supplementary income opportunity down the road. And so um, eventually it transitioned into my full-time job, which I am very, very fortunate for. Um, I was director of audiovisual services at a hotel
Mhm.
um, in 2019 and going into 2020. And once the COVID virus hit,
Yeah.
uh, that whole industry just fell flat on its face. And I was kind of teetering on like I had a job, but I didn't really have a job. And my boss, he was hanging on for dear life. He was like, I don't want to lay you off. I don't want to let you go. But the stress and the uncertainty was just kind of too much for me. So I put in my notice and decided to do YouTube full time.
Wow.
So yeah, that's it in a nutshell. It's been just like this crazy all over the place roller coaster, but here we are.
Do you play instruments or at least an instrument?
Yes. So when I was in my degree track, my primary instrument was saxophone. Um, I am also well versed in piano and singing. Um, I was a section leader in a choir of over 100 people. And I've traveled to Costa Rica and Italy doing performances with bands and choirs, and um, yeah, so I have a lot of variety as far as music goes. But yeah, actually haven't played my saxophone in a couple years.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you, have you ever played to your audience before?
I haven't. I haven't. I tried picking up my instruments a couple months ago
Hmm.
and it didn't go so well. Because you develop those muscles in your face that help you keep the correct embouchure set with a saxophone. And once those muscles go, it takes a little bit to kind of build them back up. My muscle memory and my fingers, as far as the keys and everything goes, like that was still there. I still play songs in my head on the keys of my instrument, but the facial muscle is not there anymore. So I would love to get back to playing. I'm just in a point in my life right now where I don't really have much free time to dedicate to that. But yeah,
that's why I say you should consider occasionally playing something to your audience, because your audience are there not fully just for the content, right? They're there for you, for your personality and your humor, right? And so that's part of you and how you can express yourself. And obviously any type of talent is well received and recognized, and I think that will differentiate your channel and you as a person even more. So it's using the time that you're doing your normal stuff. So I think it will work well.
Yeah, you have a good point. I'll give it some consideration for sure.
Yeah, I used to play the violin back when I was a student, and I wrote 3-string quartet songs.
Wow.
And I have twin daughters now that are 3.5, and I named them Symphony and Harmony.
Oh, that's adorable. I love that. Congratulations.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, they're just developing their logical language skills. So I have to constantly watch what I'm saying to be consistent, because they'll tell me what I said contradicted what I said 2 days ago if I'm not careful. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll get you.
Yeah. So what did you want to do when you were growing up?
Ooh, so when I was growing up, I wanted to be a veterinarian. I actually remember in 3rd grade, this is like a really abstract memory, but my teacher asked us what we wanted to be, and I wanted to be like one of those people like at SeaWorld that would hang out with the whales and swim with them and do the shows and stuff. So I drew like this picture of a whale jumping out of the water, and I was standing on top of it. And that ended up developing into veterinarian studies. However, I was not good at biology. So that's kind of a prerequisite if you want to become a veterinarian, unfortunately. Well, fortunately, like for them, not for me.
Yeah.
But in high school, I demonstrated an aptitude for the arts. And oddly enough, my parents were like, you should probably go to school for music. And I was like, you might be crazy, but you might be onto something. So I decided to pursue that.
Yeah, I feel like a pattern that I see is that they all connect to your performances. Want to be in the sea world with the whales, music, and being on YouTube, right? They're all performing to people and making people happy. Do you feel like there's that theme there?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually just had this conversation with my mom last night, because not using my degree for a while, I felt like I had wasted my time, sort of. But then, we kind of had this conversation that's like, well, no, I didn't waste my time. I got a good education. Performance, even though I'm not using it in a music realm, it still carries over to YouTube in some respects. So, and I wouldn't be here if I hadn't gone through that either.
Great. Yeah. What was the beginning days like when you were starting your channel? Was there anxiety? Did you do it for fun, or did you have aspirations for it? And did you have also pressure comparing your channel to your fiance's, or it's like it was just all going really well?
All of that. Everything that you just said, it was a whirlwind. So around the time that I started, my fiance and his group of people called the boys, they had just started doing all of the memes with the brushes and the no square, like that whole blow up was happening. I think I started my channel just shortly before that when COVID was first hitting. So I was so nervous. My first video was Five Nights at Freddy's, and I re-recorded it like a good handful of times because I was not satisfied with the quality of my commentary and all that good stuff. I felt like there was a lot of pressure because I knew that Eddie was going to be giving me a shout out. So there was going to be like this boost in subscribers that didn't naturally happen. And it's a little different when you don't build an audience organically. You have to figure out how to keep them around. I mean, you still have to do that, but it's just a different expectation, I guess. So I was trying to develop my my gift of gab, so to speak, my commentary, and yeah, there was just like a lot of pressure. It felt more comfortable recording with Eddie though. So we would do some collabs. I think some of the first videos that we made together on my channel were Arizona Sunshine. We had a couple of successful TikToks from those recordings. Yeah, so he kind of like showed me the ropes on how he worked, and I think it helped me develop my commentary style, I guess, early on.
Are there any advice that he gave you that you feel like, no, that wouldn't work for me, I disagree, I'm going to do something totally different?
Oh gosh, you know, that actually happens pretty frequently to the point that I can't really pinpoint like a single thing that he's told me that I disagree with. You know, we disagree with love. It's not like I don't know. I just can't put my
That's a
finger
good
on
thing,
anything.
right? Because you're
Yeah.
about being uniquely you, right? You
Yes.
know, and I think you take good advice, you take advice from people who have done a lot of things, but then at the end of the day, you're thinking about who you are and how you want to play this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Were there days where you just felt extremely discouraged and wonder like, what am I doing? Should I still continue? I mean, you actually did all this in 1 year, so it's actually it's quite fast. But I wonder if you have those days where you're just like, oh, should I just keep doing this or not?
Yeah, I still do. I still do.
And how do you deal with that?
Well, I have learned that I need to take it back to having fun with it instead of treating it like a job. Because the moment that I treat it like a job, I lose my passion for it. And you can see it in my videos. You can see that, oh, she's not talking as much, or she doesn't seem like she's having fun. I'm unfortunately like the kind of person that wears my heart on my sleeve. I'm very transparent, so it's hard for me to hide when I'm going through an emotional struggle. So yeah, I do admittedly still have those days. But another thing that has helped has been not focusing so much on the comment section. I love having a connection with my audience, but for like the sake of my mental health, because I see negative feedback and I'm just like, oh my God, I'm the worst person in the world. And it is just goes into this downward spiral. So I've developed like kind of this system where, okay, if I'm feeling in a good mood or like I can handle some pushback, I'll go in and I'll read the comments and everything will be fine. But if I know I'm like not feeling good to begin with, then I'll stay away from the comment section for a little while. And it kind of just helps give me that edge to like push on to the next video.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And
Yeah.
you know, I wrote a book, and I remember when my book on it was about gamification. And I remember when I got my first 3-star review, I felt sad for like 2 days. And then I have to
Yeah.
keep telling myself, but 3 stars is not bad, you know, it's not
Right.
bad. And then after
Right.
half a year, I got my first 2-star reviews, like, and then it's like I read the reviews, like, did you even read my book? And then,
Yeah.
but I think a couple of years later, when I got my first 1-star, I was already okay. I adjusted. I already went through the exercise. Okay, yeah, whatever. But that's the thing, right? You could get 1,000 positive comments, but you see that one negative one, and you're like, oh, I'm a terrible person, or why is this person doing this to me? And it's, it's hard to. We just kind of sometimes like to just soak in the negativity and just like digest it and mope on it, as opposed to seeing, hey, positive, positive, positive. Oh, one, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I'm so guilty of that. It's yeah, but learning that, like, okay, all of these positive comments, you also need to soak those in too. And it's been a learning curve for me.
One of the people I interviewed, he said that he used the filtering function on YouTube, and so he makes sure all the negative stuff don't even come into the comments. And he said what amuses him the most is that the person commenting, that person, I'll say he thinks that his comment is there. He'll see his comment, but no one else sees his comments ever. And he just feels like that's a pleasurable feel when he thinks about that scenario. And I think further ahead, I think, what if this troll just leaves negative comments all day long, and then 6 years later he realized, oh, no one ever saw any of it. I wasted 6 years of my life being negative, passionately negative for no reason. Like that moment, like, brings pleasure to my heart.
Yeah, that is awesome. I really should take the time to do that too. Like, there are certain things that I'm not going to announce them to the world, but there's certain comments that I get that just, like, I could be in the best mood ever and I see that and I'm just like bawling. So I should use that function.
Yeah. Let's go to something more positive. What was the most exciting highlight moment that you can remember while doing this channel?
Exciting highlight moments. Sorry.
Something excited happened. Someone recognized you, got an opportunity, or just got some amazing feedback that just brightened your day.
Yeah. So, like, probably the first most exciting thing was getting my 100,000 subscriber play button, for sure. And then seeing comments in Eddie's comment section that would say Gabby's my favorite, and I'd be like, yes.
That very friendly rivalry is fun to have.
Yeah.
Rub it in a little bit more when you can.
Yeah. Yeah. They like me more than you.
Great. How do you balance between creating content that you just enjoy, that you like, versus what you think your audience wants to see, or even dealing with the algorithm, stuff like that?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So, sorry, where to begin?
I know I'm not asking easy questions, so I apologize for that.
No, you're good. I start with games that I think I would like and I would want to play. And I see, okay, how does the audience perceive this? And if it's not very well received, I will move on to something else. And I just kind of keep going through this process until I get a hit. And when I get a hit, I say, okay, they want to see more of this. It's doing well. So then I play that game more and I will sprinkle in other videos. So if I start a series, say my most recent series that did well was A Way Out. With Eddie, we played that as a co-op. It was really fun. So we'll record a couple of episodes and then we collaborate with Smashing, Molly, Josh, whomever is available, and we'll record a couple of videos. It'll usually be variety content like Uno or golf or something like that. And I'll kind of sprinkle those in between the videos to see, okay, what is doing well outside of this series? Because when I'm able to test like that, I don't have to worry about like a dip in my channel so much, because I know a way out is going to bounce it back up. It's going to create those spikes. So it's a good opportunity for me to test, right? Yeah. When I don't have a strong series that's carrying my channel, it's a little bit tougher to do that, because you do have to worry about, you know, dipping and dipping and dipping. But yeah, then you kind of find a pattern through that. And honestly, I have fun with most games. So I don't really have to worry about like, oh, am I going to have fun with this game or not? I also know myself very well that like, okay, if I start playing something like Call of Duty, I'm not going to enjoy it. My audience isn't going to enjoy it because I'm not enjoying it. So it's just kind of a little bit of a mixture of everything. But yeah, I do have to be like very strategic and very careful with how I test certain series and certain types of videos.
It's a very systematic way. First, you should enjoy it. And once you enjoy it, then you test if your audience enjoys it. If they enjoy it, you develop into a longer series while testing other content, so you know where to move on to next. That's very systematic. I really like it.
Yeah, thanks. Because, you know, you never know if like the next Among Us wave is going to happen. And if you're not constantly testing other content, then you're never going to be able to catch that wave. You know what I mean? Like you might be a little late to it. And I mean, better late than never in a lot of cases. But if you can kind of get ahead of that curve and get the upper edge, then who knows, you might be the next Corpse Husband or Saikuno or, you know, Valkyrie, whoever. So.
Yeah. When you're developing a series of content because it's working quite well, what tends to put an end to it? Is it the audience seemingly becoming bored, or you become bored, or say, hey, I'm kind of running out of ideas, or hey, I planned a series of 12 and that's concluded. How do you think about that?
Again, a little bit of everything. So with A Way Out, you know, obviously that game is finite. So we go through the series, the ending happens, and that's it. I don't mod on my channel. So, you know, if I were a modding channel, then I'd probably just like keep, you know, milking the series for what it's worth. You know, maybe putting like Lady Domitrescu in there, who knows. When it comes to like VR chat type of content, that we kind of, so that is not finite, because VR chat, there's constantly like new avatars and new worlds being developed. For that, you know, you kind of actually notice a correlation of like, oh, we stopped having fun, so the audience stopped having fun. And it's not really working anymore. So maybe we should move on to something else. And I usually see it that way as opposed to the other way. Like, if we stop having fun with it first and we're treating it like a job and we're forcing it, then the audience is going to see that. Like, even though they might not know that that's exactly what's happening, like they can tell that something is off, like, oh, they're not as funny anymore. And so then they move on to something else.
Yeah, I think your strong correlation of you having fun means the audience having fun makes it a lot easier to manage, right? Then you just make sure you're having a lot of fun, as opposed to, you know, planning all this other thing about what they would want, what they would like. Is like, hey, I just want to find I have fun and they enjoy seeing me have fun. What's something you are proud of in your life that isn't obvious to others?
Okay, I'm gonna get personal.
Okay.
So I have had mental health struggles for a while. And finding stability has been a challenge. So recently, I found a new therapist, and we have been working for a little bit less than a year. She's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know like what magic juju she did to help me, but it worked. And I recently graduated from therapy. And even though, trying to um, manage mental health is always going to be like, it's not something you can just be like, oh, I've reached this level and I'm never going to work at it again. um it's gotten to the point where like I now have tools that I can manage it, and to be able to say like I don't feel depressed all the time, and I feel happy and healthy, and I am in like a good spot in my headspace. That's something I'm really, really proud of.
I think you should
That
be
a
super
lot.
proud of it. Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
you probably seen kind of depression has been one of the growing leading issues in the US and most of the world. And the problem is that people make it sound like, oh, you're not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to be open about it. You should be almost embarrassed about it. But, again, it's so common now. I
Yeah.
always felt like I'm a chemically happy person, and throughout my
Yeah.
life there, and I've been in times where just for weeks and weeks I just feel depressed, and
Yeah.
yeah, and I think it's like some people just, oh, I shouldn't let anyone know, or like maybe I shouldn't bother people, or I shouldn't, drag them down, or it's embarrassing. But I think, I think that has to change. I think
Yeah.
again, there's like, it's not like, oh, everyone's normal and I'm the one that's weird. It's like everyone is facing these issues, and I think it's important to be
Exactly.
open and work on it and improve and grow together, just like everyone has insecurity issues, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just like we acknowledge it and we work on it. Like, see negative comments, everyone has these issues about taking it personally. How do we deal
Yeah.
with that? So, and
Yeah.
I think that's really important. Like a lot of the YouTuber stuff, and a lot of industries, it's all about becoming more systemic, how to get more views, how to do all this stuff. But I think so little is about, well, how do you manage your emotions during this period?
Yeah, absolutely. And I am a firm believer that everybody should have a therapist for whatever reason, even if they're just on call, even if they're just somebody that maybe you only talk to them once every couple of months. Um, I love self-improvement, self-help type of stuff. Um, Eddie and I are both firm believers in that. And yeah, I mean, like, just mental stability is just so underrated. Like, it's when you get there, it's awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I just want to stay here. I hope I do, but we'll see.
Yeah,
So,
and I work with a lot of people and a lot of types of people, and I feel like there's a huge difference between what we call the real deal and people who pretend they are the real deal. And I think in life, it's very important to, well, two things are important. Number one, obviously, try to be the real deal as much as possible yourself. But two,
absolutely.
recognizing who is the real deal and who's not. Like you talked about this therapist, right? It's like you
Mhm.
don't even know what she did, but you see results, right?
Yes.
And there's plenty of people out there who can talk about how amazing they are, how great they are, how what degree, what results, how much accolades they have, but they just don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you found someone who is the real deal and has helped you.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And there's also like many schools of methodology out there. There's you know, one therapist might work for one person but might not work for another person.
Hmm.
So it's just really important to, if you don't get a good match the first time, try again, because it's worth the pursuit.
Yeah. It's like you are worth it, right? I am worth it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. Um, is there a piece of content that you're very excited about, you're proud of, you think this is going to be amazing, but then you feel like it's underappreciated and you think more people should go check that out?
Yes. So my my Skyrim VR video, I was really, really excited about it. And I put a lot of work into getting the correct mods to make the game playable and make the game enjoyable. And it was my first time playing Skyrim. It came out when I was in college. And when I was in college, I did not have time to play video games. So that was a big game that I missed out on, and I was so excited to play it. And I uploaded it, and like nobody watched it. So that would be a really good one if you could watch that
Oh,
one for me. I'd appreciate it.
I will tell you that I will go watch it.
Oh,
And
thank you.
this is not just because you answered it, because I'm in a similar way. I miss the Skyrim. Like I'm known in the field of gamification, right? And I study games and
Yeah,
apply it to other things.
yeah,
And Skyrim, I totally missed. I know it's one of the iconic games, and I was thinking maybe VR is a good opportunity to go and to play Skyrim for the first time.
yeah.
But like any game, and it's a big commitment. It's busy. I wish I could be streaming games. I don't do that as part of my work, at least. So I
Yeah.
thought maybe I'll start off seeing other people stream
Yeah.
Skyrim. So there we go. You have this for me.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it
Great.
was really fun. It was just a one of a kind experience. I understand the fandom behind it now.
Great. What are some top unexpected lessons you have acquired in the past couple of years? And lessons that you learned, but you didn't actually expect yourself to learn going in?
Setting boundaries. Again, circling back to that mental health. I
Mm-hmm.
know it's a recurring theme, but setting boundaries is just, it's been the biggest
Like saying no
piece.
to things.
Yes,
Mm.
saying no. And, even just sticking up for myself, not allowing people to bully me. And having that comments filter that we discussed earlier in the interview. I wasn't expecting, you know, to form, I guess, get in the habit of forming healthy boundaries going into this. But it's been a useful tool that I've acquired for sure.
Yeah, especially because you're a very empathetic person. So you want people to be happy, especially because of you. You don't want people to be sad. And
Yeah.
and so if you say no, I'm not going to do this, or I can't do this, you feel like, oh, you're letting people down, and that has to be
Yeah.
let go. Yeah, I think when I was young, I probably still have this problem, but I have a hard time saying no to people too. But I learned
Mm-hmm.
that maybe the lesson you learn, when I say yes to everyone, I end up disappointing everyone and myself, right?
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't give it my best. And so I learned to tell people like, hey, if I say yes to you, not only would I be irresponsible to other people I said yes to, I'd be irresponsible to you. And so I'm
Yeah.
very sorry. I'd love to help you, but at this time I just can't. And you know, I've never seen anyone who just say like, I'm so angry, why are you a jerk, right? That because I said it in an also very sincere way, they tend to
Right.
be okay.
Yeah.
Even I'm sure you get this too, even people who email me and they want to talk, and I have sometimes a high school student says, hey, I have a high school project, and you interview for an hour, and it's just very hard for me. But I always try to
I
I have
know.
my little secret is I have like a canned email, like a copy and paste, but I'll say, hey, I would love to do it, thanks, but unfortunately I'm not even sleeping enough hours and not giving enough time for my family, and so unfortunately I'm not able to do this, but I do hope you keep doing what you're doing in B6. I would at least say no in a polite way, I guess, but it's copy and
Yeah.
paste, so that's the
Yeah.
I don't think I want them to always know about this, but I think they should expect it too.
Right. Yeah, that's a very good way to look at it. I know I personally have mods on my Discord server that, they love to hang out with me and play games, and I love to do the same. But if I got 4 hours of sleep the night before, I got to record 2 videos, get one published today, and go grocery shopping and cook dinner and lunch and breakfast. I just, yeah.
Yeah, you
It's a
gotta
tough
you
balance.
gotta treat yourself well before you can treat other people well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Where do you think VR would be in 10 years?
I think VR will be probably like in most people's homes, I think. Um, Especially with, you know, headsets coming out that you can buy for the same cost or cheaper than a console. You don't need to have a PC that's high powered to use them. Um, you know, with things like that, good entry level headsets, I think people are going to get more into VR. Um, of course, there's kind of this disconnect that's happening right now in the space where we're getting these awesome headsets and awesome hardware, but the games are taking a little bit to catch up, you know, because there's a lot more math, a lot more work involved in developing a good quality game for virtual reality. So I think as you know, as the developers kind of catch up to the hardware, I think it'll be, yeah, in the next 10 years, I definitely see it being more prevalent, more YouTube channels, more people just playing it at home in general. Yeah.
And I think it's a self-building cycle, because if not enough people have the headset, the hardware, then not enough people can buy the software, right? So the software developers may not make enough money, but over time, more and more and more people are getting the hardware, which means the software developers say, hey, there's lots of people can buy now, so we're going to invest more money to do it. And I think it's a positive cycle that builds up.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. As we're wrapping up this interview, what's another channel that you recommend people check out?
I'm gonna recommend Jairi. So it's spelled Jeaire. She is a female VR only YouTuber, and I think she's hilarious. I started talking to her, I think about like maybe a little less than a year ago now, and she's turned into one of my really good friends. She works her butt off. She publishes videos on a regular basis, and she's very witty and very funny. And I think her channel is underrated and more people need to go check her out.
I agree. I actually just talked to her yesterday.
Really? That's
Yeah, so
awesome.
you will also eventually see her answering some hard questions that I ask.
Yay.
Yeah, cool. So as we wrap up, are there anything else you want to tell our audience? And feel free to plug anything you want.
Off the dome, I don't. Sorry.
No worries. I mean, yeah. So then I'll help you plug it. Do check out Gabby's YouTube channel. Very simple, Gabby, Gabby, and check out all her other things, Discord, if it's open, and all those things. I think as you can see, Gabby is a great person, and you should check out her stuff. And I look forward to seeing all the new content that's coming out, and just really where you'll be in the next few years. And yeah, also I'll check out the Skyrim video.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Yukai. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure too. Take care.